Alright, 6th grade. Your objective today is I can identify the most important events of a chapter and use them to write a summary of events. So here are your notes. You're going to write on the left side summary and on the right side that a summary is a sequence of the most important events in a passage. Summaries also include the central conflict of the passage. Conflict is the problem. Conflict is the issue that drives the plot. It's what the character is trying to solve. A summary does not include small details. Please make that bold. Please make that big. Please put exclamation points next to that. A summary does not include a small detail. A small detail would be something like what color shoes you're wearing. Small detail would be something like what you ate for lunch. These are not important events in your day. So, after you have written your notes about summary, here's what I need you to do. You're going to have to pause your video, take your headphones off, put your computer at half mast, because you're about to read Hatchet with your teachers. I could not be more excited. Alright, welcome back to your video. Right in front of you, we have a plot sequence of the most important events of the first 4 pages that we just read together. So I'm going to show you how I want you to create summaries by picking out the most important events of a passage. Now, in 4 pages, not a lot of important stuff happened. But here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask you a question. It's going to be, what's the most important event? Which of these is the most important event? And you're going to choose an answer. Then I'm going to show you which 3 events were the most important to create a summary. So, for event 1, choose an event now. Hopefully you chose Brian Robeson is in a plane flying over the wilderness. This is extremely important. This sets the entire scene for the book. This tells us who our main character is. This tells us where he is. And because it's a book about a kid named Brian crashing into the wilderness, this is probably extremely important. Alright, ready to choose the second event now. Hopefully you chose Brian becomes upset as he thinks about his parents' divorce. Now, what this tells us is that Brian's parents are divorced. What it's going to tell us is some of the most important characteristics of Brian. And in terms of propelling the plot forward, as of now, what we know about Brian is that he's very upset about this situation. Now, I want you to choose event 3 from the choices I've given you now. Hopefully you chose Brian practices flying the plane. I can't tell you how important this is to the eventual plot. However, just thinking about these first 4 pages, those are the big events that took place. We don't need to know that the pilot's name was Jim or Jake. We don't need to know that Brian had gotten to the airport in Hampton, New York, driven by his mother. These are small events. These are not the big details. These 3 events, Brian is flying in a plane over the wilderness, Brian becomes upset, Brian practices flying, those are the big details that help us create a summary. Now, while I was reading, I made you focus on this word, consuming. I made you focus on this sentence. So I have it here again. And the engine was so loud, so roaring and consuming and loud that it ruined any chance for conversation. Now I want you, using all that thinking that we did while we read, to determine for me what the meaning of the word consuming is. Please do that now. Alright, great job 6th grade. Please take your headphones off, put your computers at half mast, because we are about to start